everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is Sound Wave Live, and I'm Jessica Carl.
My name is JUAN COON.
And this is Gene Groove Allen. And I thought you was gonna pass it back. All right, guys. What I want to talk about, real simple. I call it all about the click.
Okay.
And the reason why I call it all about the click is because social media has become such a monster. It's a way to do so many different things, change social, economic decisions and people. But I also think that in the backdrop, for people of color, it tends to just distort who we are, what we are. But more importantly, when did we switch into stuff that was just messy and shady and going after each other, whether you're a celebrity or the person across the street? Almost like it's desensitized us.
Well, I think that social media, there's so many good aspects of it, and then there's so many bad aspects of it. Mm-hmm. But I think as far as like the shade and the bullying and all that stuff, like that's always been going on. Now people are more accessible. So more people can have an opinion about you than ever before.
Yeah, you know, one of the things is historically it's been the media always takes the negativity, and negativity seems to sell, especially in music. Yeah. Newspapers lead with the horrific lines. And, you know, basically that's always been the selling point for most media.
And you know what? And that's the thing. Historically, and I'm talking about people of color, brown, red. Historically speaking, when it comes to perpetuating women, the angry black woman, you know, they're angry and this and that. History, they push it on us. For crime, always about, you always see Tyrone and Leroy. Music videos, it's over sexualism. And that's been history. That's historically. Now, it's almost like people utilize and leverage that. And I want to talk about the bad twist about it. The more messy it is, the more sponsorship dollars they get. And where's that sponsorship dollars coming from? And who's the person that's writing that check? Yes, I like that mess.
Yeah, it's definitely a corporate agenda, in my opinion. You know, corporations that tend to put dollars and they have messages that they want to send. A lot of the messages are directed towards different segments of the population, but at the end of the day, somebody has a viewpoint that they want to have put out.
And I mean, think about reality TV, right? So I feel like that's what really started all of this. Yeah. But with social media, you have anybody that has a camera has a platform at this point.
True.
So
True.
If fighting sells, then that's what I'm going to do to get what I want.
But doesn't it? And you're right that it perpetuates the stereotypes that we see. And I know, you know, and I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. Get your groove on, get that money, but there has to be some kind of accountability for it, because you're right. TV has changed. Used to be the sitcoms, and you had people and they're actors and whatnot. And now, if it's not a talk show, it's a reality show. There are no more sitcoms. There are some game shows on nowadays. And the funny thing is, like, I know a lot of actors, and they really talk about what is the incentive now to even stay in that genre, because to be entertained, all you got to do is open your phone.
Yeah. I mean, think about music. Think about the people, the actual stars or artists that that the public got to experience. You know, DJs, you may have heard independent artists that we've never ever heard before. But now with social media, with the internet, everybody has a chance. Yeah. And that's not a bad thing, but it makes it like it's easier to be a star. So it's like, is the talent, you know, get what I'm trying to say?
Well, back in the days, you used to have a situation where you'd have to grind for like 10, 15 years before you could get heard.
Exactly.
Nowadays, you know, if you got a little home studio, you got a TikTok account, you could just basically put something out and it can gravitate to people. Algorithms control everything, and the funny thing about it is, a lot of times, like you just said, is the content, is the musicality growing? No, it's not necessarily that. Back in the days, it used to be the most talented person was the one that everybody knew about. Nowadays, it's the one that's the most promoted person.
Yeah, the most popular.
Who controls the algorithms? Who is Mr. Algorithm?
That's a good question. Wow, the algorithm has opened up the market to anyone with access and the ability to put together a plan to promote themselves. Basically, having talent nowadays is secondary to being able to get a machine together behind you. If you have a machine, you have access to millions of ears and eyes. So, who is the algorithm? The algorithm is the person that's strategized and is able to capitalize on the technology that we have.
Okay.
And is it so? Wouldn't there be a bigger picture? Because that's like, if I'm messy, if I'm throwing shade, if I'm attacking a celebrity, or like I said, attacking my neighbor, you know, those are the numbers that people gravitate to, and you know, maybe I'm not talking one sided, because I see it. It's us. We love that. Almost we thrive on that.
Oh, well, when you say us, what do you mean?
Well, I mean,
Us is in the general collective community?
No, the general collective community is us black folks. No, you know, minorities, the shadier it is, man, we eat it up. Like,
now I'm gonna ask you. I'm just gonna ask you.
Okay.
Is it us that likes that, or is that the message that seems to be geared to us? Now, what I mean by that is this. I generally think that people are led by certain people with an agenda. And nowadays, the beautiful thing about technology is that you can take technology and you can use it to advance whatever message you want.
True.
Say if you are a bad actor and you want to advance a certain stereotype towards somebody, you can get together a coordinated campaign and put out a bunch of information that skews people's visions of that said person, and just totally change the narrative. And I think a lot of people are using technology as a way to change narratives. Whether or not we gravitate to positive or negative images is one thing, but the number of negative stories and negative social media things you see about certain segments. Now, I'm being politically correct when I say that. But
I wasn't politically correct. I'm sorry.
The messages that we see basically are coming from coordinated sources.
I mean, take for instance, can we say names of shows?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So,
absolutely.
let's look at Love and Hip Hop. Okay. So this is a prime example of regular people getting all dolled up, going to the club, fighting, and getting X amount of followers from that, more and more followers. And it could be the producers knowing what sells. Let's keep them fueled with alcohol. Let's try to create messy situations. But whether they're controlling it, we're feeding into it.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
other positive outlets out there. There's positive reality shows, I'm sure, but it's all about the clickbait. Like you said, the whole point.
I was literally talking to someone just the other day about Love and Hip Hop, and my version of Love and Hip Hop is me going to Chung King's studio at 2 a.m. to mix down our album. You know, that's Love and Hip Hop. Explaining to my girlfriend at the time why I got to leave the house at 12 o'clock at night because I got to get this stuff done. That was my Love and Hip Hop, based upon being in hip hop and loving what I did.
Well, you know, the whole concept of putting together a group of up and coming stars. Each one of those people that they select for those shows has their own audience. Now, what happens is when you magnify that by the television, you now have an organization, a group of people that can build that idea and get the media message out. So, you know, they unite all of those people, all of their bases, and they become a strong base, one base.
That's true. And listen, I am not saying, you know, it's wrong or right or not. I'm just saying the conversation should be discussed more. certainly some accountability
Yeah.
Right.
or some alternatives.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are alternatives.
They're
It's just
definitely
what
like
are
this
people,
is an alternative.
Yeah,
This is an
this is an alternative.
This is an alternative.
Hold on, this is actually an alternative because what happens is, and there's a bigger picture here too. Now you start talking about television, you start talking about radio. What happened? People got iPhones. Now that they got iPhones, you don't have to watch TV at home.
Yeah.
You can actually look at your phone. You can watch a movie on your phone. Look at radio. You know, we both come from radio. So at the end of the day, back in the days, there were only 3 stations in your city that you could listen to on a daily basis. Now I can pick up my phone and listen to people all over the world.
Yeah. I mean, and that goes to show you there are a lot of benefits to social media. But since you were talking about music, what about one-hit wonders? So back in the day, you'd have someone that came out and maybe they had a huge pop hit and then that was it. So now it's like people that you would think would be one-hit wonders are lasting a lot longer because of their...
Name somebody.
And,
Names.
but no, is it because of, now I'm going to kind of say the not the culture, but I find that singers that used to be, like New Kids on the Block are still touring and selling out arenas.
Yeah.
Four Tops might be able to go to the dinner hall down the street. There's a difference. It just is.
You know, one thing I'm going to say this. Back in the days with music, you had an artist that would put out an album. Okay, that's a key word, album. That album would have 4 or 5 singles come out. You would know the artwork on the album. You would know your favorite songs. You would know your secondary song. There might even be a third record. Nowadays, artists don't put out records. They don't put out albums.
They don't put out videos.
We'll get to that. The video format died a long time. But the thing about it is, whether they have longevity though, because a lot of these people put out records and they have a hit and then they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone as far as music is concerned because it seems like the public's satiation with music is just really short-lived.
Microwave.
Yeah.
It really is microwave.
Another, like TikTok. There's some of the younger kids think that some of this music is brand new. Oh, it's just a part of a commercial.
Set-up version.
And it's like, no, this was actually an artist. This is a song. This is
This is a man's life right here.
Yeah, they hear it on TikTok and it's like, oh, this is no. But I mean, when I was like younger and listening to music, and it would be something that my parents used to listen to that was remade. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the same thing, but
No, I mean, think about it. That's a whole nother effect. Music, back in the days, you would get a group of people, you would go into a studio, they would play instruments. And they would come up with a song. Nowadays, people will hear a record they like, they'll go in the studio, they'll sample it. Sometimes they sample the entire song and just put their own lyrics over. So you got to change in the whole trajectory of how music is processed nowadays. Personally, I enjoy musicians, and I mean I can understand, and I enjoy sampling too. So it really is. But the question is, a lot of times, does a person know melodically what they're doing? Is that sample in key? Yeah. Is it singing in key?
I mean, I like both sides. I like musicians. I like bands, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Absolutely.
Ohio Players, Gap Band. But I also like nowadays producers, Timbaland, Swiss Beats, DJ Khaled, just because some of the things that they create out of what they put together,
right.
it makes sense. I just think that we need a balance. No, we don't need a balance. People need to be balanced. If they really want to, and I'm not saying you better be balanced, but that's how you really get a chance to be on both sides of the coin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? But in technology, like I said, it's a beautiful thing. Social media is a beautiful thing. It makes money for people. It brings awareness to certain situations. I just think that like you said, the powers that being, Mr. Algorithm, whoever you are, you know, the design, there's something about the design that just doesn't feel right sometimes.
You know, like when you say that, and I think about like the radio and how they choose what the singles will be, right? I mean, maybe not how does that work? Do they send in a single? Think 20 years ago. Don't think now.
Okay.
So, how does someone's song get on the radio?
Well, the way it works is record companies approach the program director and the music director with the song, and they decide whether they're going to play it or not.
Okay.
That's basically how that works. They make a song, but now the way it seems to be working,
how's it work?
Is radio tends to gravitate to whatever is popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if you have a song now and it's blowing up all over the world, the radio will be like, oh, well, let's play that song, because if we play the popular music, we'll get more listeners, because they're driven by listenership. They need those numbers so that they can survive and they can get advertising dollars. So popularity seems to be the thing now.
Okay. So like back then, way back in the day.
How far back? How far back?
So far back.
I know. Enough. So what was I going to say? Okay. So you hear a song on the radio. Maybe you don't like it. Maybe it wouldn't be a song that you would normally want to listen to on your own, but then you hear it all the time in rotation, constant rotation on the radio. And so it's like you find yourself singing along with it, you know, whereas opposed to now you have different outlets you can pick and choose. So I like this song from this album. I like that song. You don't have to listen to whatever the DJ or the radio person is playing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing with the telephone now and the internet. I mean, listen, you can listen to a radio station in Singapore.
Yeah.
You can listen to a radio station in Japan and Dubai. You can listen to a radio station in DC and Philly. You don't have to necessarily listen to like we're in the tri-state, so you got the WIBCs, the WBLSs, the Hot 97s, the 105s. You can listen to anything
at any time,
at anywhere, anytime, because technology is bananas. It's like, I mean, and I'm going to tell you something. That really undermined the whole structure of radio and TV.
It did. It did.
Because when that focus is centralized in those places, what you have is almost like a monopoly for people's attention. But giving people alternatives, now you pulled a lot of, I mean, it really is, it's eating away at the radio station and the television's ability to galvanize our thoughts.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I mean, like it or not, it's here to stay. I mean, the whole technological revolution has just revolutionized the way we process music and life in general. For instance, it was a big thing moving from vinyl, going to CDs, and then going to MP3s. Yeah. That process changed the game. You could put a record out, charge $22. The record only cost $3 to make. That was all profit.
Amazing profit.
Nowadays, you don't have that. You put out an MP3, people don't even buy music anymore. No. You go to your site, you download the music, and boom, the artist has lost money. The record company has lost money. Nobody's making money, so nobody has any incentive to do anything.
Don't you think technology's catch-22 sword? Technology kind of saved the music industry because nobody was going to the record stores. Record stores is almost obsolete.
No, I mean, think about it. Michael Jackson, how many records did he sell?
Mike, come on now.
Right,
Michael Jackson.
How
about Michael Billy? Did Michael Billy sell a record?
No, but Michael Bivins. Michael Bivins.
No, Michael Bivins. We can't talk Michael Bivins. Michael Bivins is a musical genius.
Yeah, but he sold a lot of records.
But think about, and I remember, I don't want to say the company, but they really changed.
Say the company.
Say the company.
Say the company, man.
Okay. Apple. Steve Jobs. No, he changed. They really changed the way we look at music.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember being in college and someone coming out with an album, Lauryn Hill, and we're sitting there listening to every song, reading who's singing the backgrounds, reading the lyrics. It's like certain stuff like that is totally lost.
Gone.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's
Good
you
or
know,
bad? I don't know.
I got a topic. What do you guys think about Beyonce's country music swing?
Musical genius. So my daughter's a fanatic about Beyonce, and she's okay. She's a great artist, etc. But her marketing, the way she does what she does, and when she does it, I live in the DMV area. My daughter went to the concert out in Maryland, D.C. and whatnot, and I went to pick her up. I got there at 11 o'clock at night. They didn't get to the parking lot till 2. There were so many people of all colors, all genres. I'm talking old mothers to young bucks. It was like she crosses demographics and then switch it again. Country? Man, listen, I'm going to sing some country.
I mean, I think, listen, she has earned the right to do whatever she wants to do, right?
Yeah,
I mean, she's
that's
literally
true. That's true.
earned the right. I think the problem comes in when, if country fans are not feeling it, that's their prerogative to not feel it, you know? And it's not wrong for them not to feel that. It's okay.
You know what, though? One thing about Beyonce's decision to do country music is, like it or not, whether you like it or not, she's going to grow the market.
Very much so.
And her fans are now going to become, they're going to be receptive to country music. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think that it's a genius move too. And I think that,
Shout out to country.
you know, how many other artists can you think of that did a shift like this?
Shout out to Darius Rucker. Hold on. And now he's singing Country
Well,
Road.
what about Al Green? He had the gospel thing.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Al Green.
Yeah.
What's it?
Yeah.
No. Oh my God. What's his name? George? No. What? George. Charlie Pride. Charlie Pride.
Okay.
Y'all know nothing about no Charlie
Charlie
Pride.
Pride, yeah.
I don't know nothing about no Charlie Pride. I'm going to have to look that up. Sorry.
Nah, but the thing is, I think that it's a genius. But I love the fact that she's at the position in her career where she can just wake up and decide she wants to do something and do it.
And she's earned that right. And I mean, what would stop her when everyone else is putting out songs that have no business putting out songs? I mean, come on.
Like me, Jeff.
Anyone. This is the whole conversation about
did she just-
social media and internet. I said I wasn't naming nobody.
Who?
I ain't in it. My name is Bennett. I ain't in it.
Any other topical subjects?
You know, I sure do like country.
You did.
And, you know, so if we look at the historical,
Oh, for gosh sake.
no, but music, you know, that music scenario, when you think about all the things, all the types of music that we listen to, it all started from somewhere. And wasn't Elvis Presley.
That's exactly what I'm going to say. Truth be told.
And it's
If we could just be transparent. How many things that started out with a person of color and has been completely taken over? No?
No, yes.
I mean,
Yes.
you know, it's funny. I mean, you can take it even further. It's like a lot of the origin of everything comes from Africa. Yeah, but
He's going to be using that button a lot on Eugene. I'm sorry. He's going to use that button a lot.
this is our maiden voyage of our show, so we're getting comfortable with all of this.
Get
So.
comfortable. It's all good. But no, you're right. And for people who know me, all right, I'm gonna be a little transparent. I love Elvis Presley. I really like Elvis Presley. I mean, I watched the movie. When I was a kid, I used to watch at Channel 7, 4 o'clock, Elvis Presley Week.
Since we being transparent, I like Elvis too.
I seen them all.
I think
Elvis in Hawaii.
I used to watch Elvis's movies. You ever,
Yes.
you ever watch Elvis movies?
You never? Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
I think
Dreams come
y'all a little more seasoned than I am.
Hold on. Does that sound like a
I'm
shot?
gonna follow that dream.
No, it's not a shot.
That sounded like a
It
shot.
is not a shot.
I'm serious.
But no, I used to watch Elvis's movies, and
Win this race.
but the thing about it was, I noticed that he had a machine behind him too.
Yeah.
And now being a DJ and being into music, when I was little, I was fascinated by that whole thing. I was fascinated by Elvis Presley. I was fascinated by the Beatles. I was fascinated by the Jackson 5.
Yes.
I was fascinated by Michael Jackson. I was fascinated by the Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones.
David
James
Music.
Brown.
Music.
But no, I'm talking
David
about
Bowie.
the ability to capture the public's imagination and transcend from regular performers into superstars. Superstars. And they all used the same formula. They all had the same grind. They all had the same, get on the stage and go to different towns, go to different countries, blow up, and boom, it came around full circle. That doesn't happen today.
No.
No.
I mean, although today's generation has access to TikTok, Facebook, and help me out,
Instagram,
yeah.
YouTube,
Yep. Snapchat,
Snapchat,
We Rap,
which is crazy.
Keep the
but
Cap.
the
Shout out to social media.
the thing about it is that now you don't let's talk about superstars. Who's a superstar?
My mommy. No.
I mean, of course, Beyonce. You have
Yeah.
Rihanna.
Jay-Z.
I would love to say Michael, Whitney, and Prince, but
How about this name? Taylor Swift.
Taylor, yeah,
Super.
he's a
Taylor
super.
Swift
Who
is
started their country.
Taylor Swift is a superstar.
Yeah.
I mean,
Super.
it's crazy.
And a marketing Jesus.
you-
Marketing Jesus.
I mean, wow. I mean, her domination of the public fascination is very similar to Princess Diana.
Yeah.
The tabloids are following her.
know
She's
what?
on the Super Bowl. She's on the TV more than the quarterback for the other team.
You know what? You're right. Yeah. Wow.
When's the last time we saw that? The public fascination with a persona, Princess Diana.
Yeah.
And you know what though? The funny thing about it is you really got to learn how to navigate that territory
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? When you say navigate, as an artist or
as a person.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Because it there's a certain amount of weight that scrutiny puts on your persona, and we are all human. Even though people see the celebrities as superstars, they're still human too.
So the question is, and I think you had kind of talked about this before, what is that line that as a fan, does that artist owe the fan everything?
I mean, the thing I think is this: is there a line? No, there's not a line. I'm sorry, there used to be a line, but there's not a line now. And the thing is, you just have to have internally the ability to navigate that space internally, and you also have to have a network. A network of people behind you, a team that can keep you from going into the fire. Because what happens is, with the erosion of social mores, people don't know how to toe a line.
They don't know.
And then, I mean, even comparison to before the internet, before the cell phones, the celebrities and stars, for the most part, it was the paparazzi.
Yeah.
But now it's everybody.
Everybody's a paparazzi
Everyone has a
now.
camera.
Everybody's
Everybody has a
paparazzi.
video camera. So it's less, I mean, I think, you would hear about the paparazzi hiding in the trees and doing, but they also knew that this celebrity is coming to make this appearance here. So I think now they have less control of their privacy.
Right.
But see how desensitized we are because of that. Because it used to be when you saw something from the paparazzi, they were there. Wow, people would. Now it's like, okay, yeah, TMZ. We see people coming out the bathroom. Hey, John, how's it going? And well, it's just it doesn't have that type of bite, and that's why you say like us people fans, they kind of go overboard because they think, I see you all the time, so it's no problem for me to come up and do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's good. pluses and minuses with social media.
Pluses
I mean,
and minuses.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
I like that. Pluses and
that could be a
minuses.
very long discussion, an ongoing discussion. Because
well, we're in our 30-minute mark.
good.
That's not bad. I hope you enjoyed this first boatload of information that came from DJ JUAN COON, Just Call, and G.
Allen.
All right.